with our top story here tonight on Christmas prayers that went on in all parts of India. And also it came with fair share of chaos and threats, gundaism that we saw in some parts of the country on Christmas Day. If I could take you through the story. Today began with a strong message of Christmas spirit from the top. On Christmas morning, Prime Minister Narendra Modi attended a service at Delhi's Cathedral Church of Redemption. Hymns and candles, prayers and Christmas post that he also put out. It was a clear outreach to the Christian community. Prime Minister Modi says, may Christmas bring renewed hope, warmth and shared commitment to kindness. While he said that and while we saw that outreach of Prime Minister Modi with the Christian community, what really progressed through the day though was a different picture altogether. What began was certainly Christmas carols and celebrations in the morning, and then towards the afternoon, reports of vandalism, intimidation, gundaism all surfaced from different parts of North and Northeast India, largely from the Hindi heartland. In fact, in Assam's Nalbari district, youths who identified themselves as Bajrang Dal members allegedly entered a Christian school. Christmas decorations were collected and burnt down. Slogans were raised, Jai Shri Ram and Jai Hindu Rashtra. And then in Madhya Pradesh, in Jabalpur, a video went viral showing a visually impaired woman at the Christmas program being publicly abused. And this happened, in fact, 2 days ago. And it's now resonating on Christmas again. In Chhattisgarh, Christmas Eve saw statewide shutdown call in Raipur. Decorations were reportedly vandalized at a mall. In fact, at that mall, they literally pulled down the decorations and tried to intimidate those organizers and really played as party pooper for those who were enthusiastic to see Christmas celebrations there. Well, this is what they got. In Delhi and then Lajpat Nagar market, women and children wearing Santa caps were confronted. They were accused of religious conversion and forced to leave that area. And then in Odisha, hawkers selling Santa caps were chased away. They were told that these symbols don't belong in what vigilante is called a Hindu Rashtra. In Uttar Pradesh, Hindutva groups chanted Hanuman Chalisa outside a well-known church in Bareilly, turning a day of prayer into a day of provocation. And Christian organizations say that this is certainly a pattern that they are seeing. It's not random. Groups like the Catholic Bishops' Conference of India and the Evangelical Fellowship, the United Christian Forum, the Bombay Catholic Sabha, have written to Home Minister Amit Shah, copies marked to the Prime Minister's office, warning about the atmosphere of fear. The CBCI says that these attacks weaken the Constitution's guarantee of freedom of religion. The United Christian Forum says it recorded nearly 834 instances of violence against Christians in 2024 and 706 instances that have been reported as of November 2025. And then there is Kerala. In Palakad's Puducherry, a children's Christmas carol group was also attacked. Their musical instruments are damaged. The accused has been named as a BJP worker there, in fact with an RSS background. Protests followed after that. And in Kerala, elections are due. It's now become an election issue. Opposition says this really reveals the ruling party BJP's real face. The BJP, of course, denying any kind of backing here to these fringe groups, saying that they don't stand with this kind of intolerance. Points to the Prime Minister's outreach, says the Prime Minister himself attended Christmas service. Well, that's the big question. If the Prime Minister is reaching out to the Christian community, and that should ideally be setting the tone across the country, but extremists, right-wing fringe groups, they're vandalizing and intimidating Christian communities while they celebrate is indeed shocking. The country saw a lot of prayers and celebrations on one hand, but also this kind of disturbance on the other hand that has intimidated the community, no doubt. Let's take you through some of the reactions.
Today, as I meet you, it is with deep pain and concern that I speak over the disturbing rise in attacks on Christians in several parts of our country. During this holy Christmas season, we are pained to hear about it. Peaceful carol singers and faithful gathered in churches before crypts for prayer, etc. have been targeted causing fear and distress among law-abiding citizens who seek only to celebrate their faith in peace. Such incidents deeply wound the spirit of our Constitution, which guarantees freedom of religion. I humbly and earnestly appeal to you, the leadership of India, Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, Honorable Home Minister Amit Shah ji, Honorable State Leadership, Chief Ministers and so on, to ensure the strict enforcement of law and to extend proactive protection to Christian communities across the country.
All right, there you have it. You have the Christian community now who are hoping for intervention from none other than the Home Minister Amit Shah himself. At this point, they feel threatened. And of course, looking at the number of cases of attacks, in fact, the church itself says 705 odd attacks have happened just as of this year until November. This is not counting the last 2 weeks. We are playing visuals for you here of the last 2-3 days. In the run-up to Christmas, we saw these kind of visuals that surfaced. This was a BJP leader manhandling a young visually impaired girl, claiming that she was trying to convert people. And then we saw people being pushed out of Delhi's Lajpat Nagar just because they were wearing Santa hats, again claiming that they were trying to convert and influence people. Then we saw in malls Christmas celebrations and all the artifacts and the Christmas decor was completely vandalized and brought down. So instances like this have been reported across different parts of the country and have now grown in number, which is what warrants us to ask, why isn't the ruling government breaking silence on this? Should there not be strong condemnation? Even if Prime Minister Modi reached out to the Christian community and put out a tweet there showing clearly he's very much invested in India's diversity and appreciates a festival like Christmas and the Christian community in India and their contributions, while we see Prime Minister Modi doing that, that message doesn't seem to have trickled down to the ground. Law and order has been an issue on Christmas Day. Let me bring in our guest joining us, Advocate Sanjeev Unial, who is a political analyst, Nikhil Jain, political analyst, Rennie Abraham, senior journalist, and Father Paul Telakat, who is a former spokesperson of the Syro Malabar Church. Thanks very much, all of you, for joining us. Father Paul, all right, we're trying to connect his line there, but Rennie Abraham, if you want to come in on that, Mr. Rennie Abraham, your take on the visuals that we see on our screens. Today, about 4 instances of violence that have been reported. Last 2 days, we've seen multiple instances, and it begs us to ask a question as to why, the Home Ministry people and the top, ranks of the government have not strongly condemned this. I'm sure you have the same question to ask. But at the same time, we also know that the BJP has strongly denied any support or backing to fringe groups as such, like the Bajrang Dal. So they say we are not responsible for what they do. Look at our Prime Minister, he's reached out to the community.
Nabila, a very Merry Christmas. I say
too,
that
sir,
with a tinge of sadness over the incidents that have been reported across the Indian subcontinent, and not just limited to that, but also Europe, particularly France, and so many European Christian nations that have also witnessed similar disruptions happening over the Christmas celebrations, Christmas Eve celebrations. So that is a given. Coming back to India, the fact of the matter is that Articles 25 to 28 of the Indian Constitution absolutely allow freedom of religion. There is no two ways on that. However, what we are seeing, not only in the Indian subcontinent, but also Europe, is a breakdown and a politically strategized breakdown of the law of the land, respective lands, if I may put it here. So we may, try to look at a kind of a generic answer to this. Fact of the matter is, if I look at my India, and if I look at my Prime Minister Narendra Modi of India, he has recently made an outreach to the Muslim community, even earlier to the Bora community to be specific. More recently, sending a chadar across to the Khwaja Garib Nawaz, Dargah in Rajasthan. And today, on Christmas Day, he attended the Good Morning Mass at the Cathedral Church of New Delhi. So, as a citizen of India, as a Christian who's upset by these kind of ranklings of, people going berserk, let me put you a simple example, anecdotal reference, which I, as a journalist, attended a press conference back in Mumbai in 2017, and that the BJP government was in place in Maharashtra. And it was a press conference taken by the heads of the VHP, Bajrang Dal, and the RSS. And I had one question for the heads of these three wings, and I only asked them a question. I said, "Tell me one thing. Why is it that you all are only so aggressive and militant whenever there is a government of yours in place? क्या आप लोग दंडे खाने से डरते हो?" Because they had raised an issue about the Siddhivinayak temple.
When you say this government in power, are you basically referring to the BJP?
I mean, that's what I asked them a question in Maharashtra. That time Devendra ji was the CM, and they were raising the issue of a Bombay High Court order by Justice
So what I
Oka.
believe then is that you firmly believe that the BJP could be tacitly supporting such fringe groups?
No, that is not what I'm saying. I asked the question of these radical right-wingers that why do you wait for, because the issue they raised then was about a 2008 order of the Bombay High Court regarding the Siddhivinayak temple, which they were raising in, if I stand corrected, it's 2015. I said, why are you raising that issue today? In 2008, the order was given, but today you're agitating in 2015 when it's a BJP government in Maharashtra. So my point to them was this: did you wait for so many years to take the agitation ahead because you have a BJP government in Maharashtra? Is it because all these years you all were scared that you would get dundas if you took to the streets and agitated about it? Having said that, the fact of the matter is what we are seeing is lawlessness. We have seen our Prime Minister demonstrating that he is not against any religion. He's reached out to the Muslim community, which is a minority community. He's reached out to the Christian community, which is a minority community. And if we are going to hold the powers that be responsible for the fringe radical elements who indulge in this kind of violence, we must be a little more focused and rational about why it's happening. We can simply pass the buck and say,
my question here is, it's happened largely in BJP-ruled states, be it Chhattisgarh, be it Delhi, be it Assam, be it Madhya Pradesh. This is largely the Hindi heartland where cases of such nature have come to light. So, which is why my question here is, why isn't the ruling government breaking silence on this? There should be hard condemnation. It's not one-off instance. It's multiple instances that have come to fore, which is what's left us worried. Christian or not, or any other religion. As a citizen of India, you should be worried if you're looking at visuals like this. Someone trying to impose groups barging in and singing Jai Shri Ram when carols are being sung. That's no secular India.
Fair enough, Nabila. Just the same way I cited the instance of Europe and France, where pre-Christmas Eve celebrations were disrupted by apparently Islamic radicals.
Yeah.
Who did not want to allow any Christmas Eve celebrations to happen in France.
But we are not them.
Which is
we are India. We are not them. There are extremist
India,
groups.
Nabila.
Yeah. There are extremist groups there that are dealt with accordingly there, but India has not seen such intimidation in the past. This has happened increasingly.
Allow me to correct you, Nabila. Please, I don't mean to be rude here by interrupting you. You're one of the most brilliant.
No, but what I'm not settled with. No, sir. What I'm not settled with is you comparing this country with France. I'm not going to take that analogy.
I am saying
you're almost trivializing what's happening here. Then you're saying it's happening also in France. So what's happening here is also.
No. I didn't say it's okay. Neither is okay.
Neither
Nabila,
is okay,
please don't
absolutely.
mistake
So
what I
no
said.
comparison with
Yeah,
France.
my point is,
Let's be specific to India.
my only point is we are one global village today, whether we like it or not. So anything that happens in France, or whether anything happens in India, or anything happens in Russia or Ukraine, we are all aware of it. We can't be having blind spots when we are talking about a pan global issue, which is about how minorities are being targeted. So whether minorities in India, which is Christians or Muslims, or whether it's minorities in Bangladesh who are Hindus, Jains, Buddhists, Sikhs, and Christians, or whether it's minorities in Pakistan who are again Jains, Hindus, Buddhists, and Christians. We cannot pretend that there is something to come to the nub of the issue. What is this happening? We have to, as journalists, we have to go into a deep dive to understand the real problem. And what is the real problem in India? Since you want to restrict
Superiority
our
complex
conversation.
of the majority, majoritarianism. That's what's happening everywhere. Let's take that to Father Paul. Father Paul is also joining us, and Father Paul, what we see is terribly sad. First of all, I wish you a Merry Christmas. I hope you're having a good day, but thank you for joining us in the midst of your celebration. And I'm sure you feel strongly about what you see on our screens.
Thank you, madam, very much. This is very organized affair. This is not an accidental thing that is happening all over India. Why is it happening now? You see, recently, the RSS chief said, we do not want to change the constitution. What he wants to say is the culture of India must remain, and they will make the culture of India not secular, but Hindutva, and that is the aim of our intimidation. It is really a fear psychosis being created among the Christians, and it's also a warning to the soft Hindu people, the ruling people. They are told that soft Hindutva is not possible. They want hard Hindutva, and that is a very Talibanistic Hindutva that they want. They are speaking about Santa Claus, against Santa Claus, because it is, they say, it is not against it is against the culture of Kerala, of India. What is the culture of Kerala? India, what they say, speak of the culture, whatever is foreign to them must be avoided. I am asking you, is zebra line possible in India? Zebra line is something that you import from West. Is a technology. What is happening in medicine? Allopathy is completely imported from foreign countries. Is that possible in India? And also democracy. Democracy cannot be said an Indian product. It is something coming from Western country. Is that possible in India? That is what is. Then we end up India ending up in like Afghanistan. Talibanism is a, and that kind of very Talibanistic fundamentalistic attitude. That is it. It is violence against the minorities. Any religion which is not of Indian origin, they will use any type of violence against this community. This is intimidating and creating a fear among the community, and that is by way that they want to impose a unilateral, unipolar, fundamentalistic attitude on culture. And that
Father
means
Paul,
I do not know why do they propagate yoga. If yoga is Indian thing, let it remain India. Why do they propagate yoga in all over the world? Why do they propagate Gita? And that is anything would be.
yeah, let's not mix yoga. Yoga is an exercise. Yoga is great for health. Yoga may be
Yes.
a part, integral to Sanatan Dharma. But we have seen the beauty of yoga and the magic it has on physical
Madam, it
health.
is
So
okay.
let's
I
leave
agree with
yoga
that.
aside.
I agree with that.
But
That must be the
what do
way.
you feel
What is
about
good
Prime
when
Minister
you want.
Modi's outreach? Father Paul, Prime Minister Modi's outreach. Today in Modi's India, this has happened. But this is the same Prime Minister Modi who's reached out. If I could play those visuals of the Prime Minister reaching out to the Christian community. He was part of the entire mass today, and he put that out on his social platforms. That ideally a message that should ideally trickle down. It has not happened. But if you really look at the Prime Minister, he's done his bit in terms of setting the tone as of today.
Now the Prime Minister has to be very honest with himself. Is he speaking double? Is he using double speak? That is the question. Talking one thing to the leaders and acting something totally against it. That is the question that every Christian, every Hindu, Muslim has to ask. The Prime Minister has to be secular-minded, even-minded people, not double-speak, speaking the same language to Hindus, same language to Christians, and
Are
same
you
language
saying,
to
Father
Muslims.
Paul? That was a similar question I asked Rene as well. He said no. But I'm asking you, Father Paul, do you believe that the BJP government gives them a little bit of a cushion, these fringe groups, which is why they have this audacity and they're emboldened to carry out such attacks?
I doubt that indirectly they are supporting it. Otherwise, they will take action. They are not taking any action. That means they are indirectly supporting the fringe groups.
Okay. Advocate Sanjeev Unyal is also joining us. Advocate Sanjeev Unyal, here you have two people from the community who've spoken. One is a journalist, one is a father at a church. Both believe that instances of these violence are worrying, and though father says that Prime Minister Modi has reached out, that message has not gone down because there could be tacit support to these fringe groups because no action really as such is being taken. You know, what's sad is that nobody is there. Now, if these instances have happened, nobody is going to be following up on a case because they're all worried that they'll be targeted. If they file an FIR against them, tomorrow they'll come around to target them. So all of these goons get away scot-free. But under the Modi regime, Prime Minister Modi setting the tone by meeting the Christian community, the same regime should also ensure suo motu action and FIRs against these goons. We have not seen that kind of action coming forward.
Luckily, I'll touch three incidents. The basics of Bharatiya Sanskriti is Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Vasudeva Kutumbakam.
Exactly.
And it starts from the top man, who is luckily the Prime Minister of India. He's the ex-pracharak of Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh. What indication he has given? He's clearly given an indication that outreach program to go in the church is very important as far as Bharatiya Sanskriti is concerned. Now I'll come to Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh. Sarsang Chalak Dr. Mohan Bhagwat recently in 2019-2023 gone to 13 bishops, 13 churches. That was the outreach program of Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh. What is their मूल मंत्र? संगठन गढ़े चलो, सुपंथ पर बढ़े चलो, भला हो जिसमें देश का वो काम सब किए चलो, भूल कर भी मुख में जाति पंथ की ना बात हो, भूल कर भी मुख में जाति पंथ की ना बात हो, भाषा प्रांत के लिए कभी ना रक्तपात हो. This is the ideology, this is the morning prayer of Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh. In 70,000 and lakhs of Samsevaks chant this Geet in their shakhas. And moreover, you see the Christianity, if this type of ideology could be very cruel, very brutal, or could be doing what so many people, only 13, 15 or 40 people we have seen in your cameras, what they are doing. That is not a planned attack. Few people, you are repeating those pictures. I was counting in one picture that was Lajpat Nagar, only 2, 1 woman was there. Again, 5 men are here, total 18, 20 or 22 people were there. That is condemnable, undoubtedly. But that is not a plan of Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh or Bharatiya Janata Party. Nobody from the stage has said you have to attack Christians. Otherwise, you see what is the population in 1952 of Rashtra. I was going through that data.
But is it not a point of concern that these people are coming from the same crop?
Let me complete.
The same DNA?
You have given an ample chance to both these fathers.
I'm not stopping you. I'm only adding to my question for you only. You can only answer, sir. But is it not concerning that these people come from the same DNA? They are right-wing fringe groups. They are groups that hold the same ideology.
Now, if you are saying DNA, then Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh, Sarsang Chalak said, all our DNA are same. Yours, these fathers, mine, and Jain also. We belong to the same DNA. Why you are talking about DNA? We are not different. We are one.
Sir, again you are hinting at Garvapasi. Instead of condemning, you are saying you are hinting at Garvapasi.
But we have the same DNA. This has been said by the Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh, Sarsang Chalak ji, Dr. Mohan Bhagwat.
That's precisely what they're exercising.
Only,
that
Delhi.
you are traditionally Hindu, you are converted people. Don't stop. Get rid of your foreign culture and come back.
You cannot mudslinging. If here people are chanting Hanuman Chalisa, what's wrong in it?
At a Christmas celebration, it's not. You don't see anything wrong in it, sir.
Someone is chanting Hanuman
Sir, you don't see anything wrong in the fact that people have marched into a Christmas celebration and are singing Hanuman Chalisa. You do not see anything wrong in it.
We will chant Hanuman Chalisa. How you can stop us to chant Hanuman Chalisa?
Sir, you are not. They're singing outside a church on Christmas Day.
Then
that's not provocation according to you.
Christmas is there. I am supposed to chant Hanuman Chalisa.
Outside a church, you will chant outside a church deliberately. That's intimidation, right?
No,
you're an advocate, sir. You know what intimidation means.
You are doing a blame game. What is your narrative? Why you are doing this program? I don't know. Nobody in the newspaper, nothing is there. Only 50, 30 people are there. They will be booked. And
outside a church on Christmas Day, when Christmas Mass and Christmas celebrations are on and prayers are on outside a church, you have multiple of these men threatening, intimidating and singing Hanuman Chalisa, and that seems okay for you. That's shocking.
But you are doing a blame game on Bharatiya Janata Party or on ideology. These people has to be booked. They are not the real Bharatiya Janata Party.
So that's the limited point, that they must be booked. Do not justify their act, sir. Please. That's wrong to say on national television. That's a wrong statement to send out.
I'm not saying they should not be booked. I'm saying they should be booked.
That's it.
But not.
So you just said, is it wrong to sing Hanuman Chalisa?
Bharatiya Janata Party or Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh or VHP in the witness box.
Sir, all of these states have BJP governments currently ruling.
Not a top leader of any party, any ideology.
But BJP governments are currently ruling in all these states where acts of such violence have happened. We will ask the government. Who else will we ask?
In China, they can celebrate in China? No. They cannot celebrate in Pakistan.
I find it very insulting to India when people compare India with China, compare India with Pakistan, compare India with Bangladesh, compare India with France. I'm sorry, India is not any of these countries. We are distinct. We are India for a reason. Right?
We are diverse.
You are insulting India by comparing us to anyone else. But
that's why we are going like anything. That's why we are the third economy. Vishnu temple has been demolished. Have you seen? 30 feet Vishnu temple.
Sir, that is no way. You're basically justifying the act of violence by saying that.
I'm not justifying. You are putting your words in my mouth.
You're saying you're saying Christians are more safe in a country where less violence is happening versus another country where more violence is happening.
Prime Minister, ex Bharatiya Janata Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh, Sarsang Chalak ji has said, and ex Pracharak for Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh, who is supposed to be the Prime Minister of this country, has outreached to the Catholic Church. That speaks volume about the ideology of Rashtriya Samsevak Sangh, Bharatiya Janata Party. You cannot blame them. But the persons who are doing this could be 50, 40, they should be booked. This is my version. This is my point of view.
All right. Nikhil Jain, go on.
First of all, a very merry and a very happy Christmas to all your viewers. And Nabila, secondly, congratulations to you that you're taking up this topic. I don't think any other primetime show in the country is talking about this very concerning string of incidents, because unlike Mr. Unyal would like to paint it, this is not just a stray incident by some 20 goons. These are a string of incidents that are happening across the country. And unfortunately, this is not surprising to me anymore. In the past few years, we've grown up to, sort of hearing such incidents by these two very groups. Every time there is an Eid procession or a Christmas celebration or an Easter celebration, basically anything that is a celebration of any religion other than their own idea of Hinduism, that is a problem for these people, which just points to the growing intolerance.
You're telling a lie?
Mr. Unyal, I was not interjecting you. Can you please, Mr. Unyal, I was not interjecting you. Can you please
mend your words?
Can you please, Mr.
Go on, Nikhil.
Mr. Unyal, I wasn't interjecting you, so I hope you can extend that courtesy to me. And if you really want me to pull out an article about some disturbances that were created by the Bajrang Dal or the VHP on an Eid event or an Eid celebration, I'll do that in the course of the debate. But let me please make my point. Nabil, as you clearly pointed out, that these incidents are all happening in states that are ruled by the BJP, which goes to the length of the kind of, which sort of evidences. Mr. Unyal, can we please have a civilized debate? Mr. Nyal, you're an advocate. I am one. Can we please have a civilized debate? Can we have some decorum on the show? Nobody was interjecting when you were speaking. Why do you feel the need to interject me? Can I please make my point in peace? So, Nabila, the point that
Yeah.
I'm trying to raise here is that there may not be an explicit from the stage proclamation of support and alliance with the VHP and the Bajrang Dal from the BJP or the RSS or Prime Minister. But let me remind your viewers that the support for VHP and the Bajrang Dal is fierce by the current ruling dispensation, which is Prime Minister Modi, BJP, and the RSS. Let's not forget that Graham Stein's incident was perhaps the first incident when something, really religiously intolerant was done against a Christian in India, where a person was burnt alive on charges of being a missionary when he was just helping patients with leprosy. He was burnt alive along with his kids. One of the key accused in the case, Pratap Sarangi. Who is Pratap Sarangi right now? He's a BJP member of parliament who now goes around, giving wild accusations against the leader of opposition. You had the Bilkis Bano case where a woman was brutally raped, gang raped by 11 individuals. Her entire family was killed. Her unborn fetus was taken out. These people were convicted by a court of law. What happened next? The Gujarat government, run by the BJP, pardoned them. They were called onto a stage, and BJP leaders were sharing the stage and calling them good Brahmins. Because I don't know how does it make a good
Yeah,
Brahman
but
out of a
Nikhil,
person if they're
specifically
gang
speaking
raping or
about
murdering a woman.
instances of such nature, well, okay, leaving politics aside, Prime Minister Modi has also reached out to the Christian community. He's the BJP says he's done his bit to set the tone.
Is that
Fringe elements are not associated with the government. You cannot link them with us. That's the BJP's clear
no?
stand that
But
we are not giving no
that's
support to them.
entirely.
They are criminals. They condemn it, but a strong condemnation has
Why
not
did they
come
give
in
a
as
ticket
yet.
to Pratap Sarangi? Why did they give a ticket to Pratap Sarangi? Is he a Nobel laureate? Has he been working for the farmers, the laborers? Is he an intellectual? Is he an astronaut? Is he a scientist? Who is he? Why does he get a ticket from the BJP? Why did
Okay.
Pragya Thakur get a ticket from the BJP? That is patronage enough. Of course, the Prime Minister of the country cannot come to a stage and say, "Oh, I want you guys to go and burn churches. I want you guys to go and rape women, Muslim women." That's not something that happens. Let's not pretend to be so daft. Even the
I'm
Taliban would
sorry,
not
Mr.
say
Jain,
that
I
from
must
stage.
object here.
The fact is that there is strong patronage given
I'm
to these
sorry, Mr.
wild
Jain.
extremists and fringe groups. And Mr. Ibrahim, you raised an important point that such incidents are happening across the world. Yes, indeed they are. And you also blame those incidents on Islamist, radical, and extremist groups. I 100% agree with you. Now, in the same line, will you also call the Bajrang Dal and the VHP as radical extremist groups? Will you call for their ban? Because that is what, when the Congress, promised a ban on this fringe group called Bajrang Dal, it was the Prime Minister himself going out in rallies and saying, "Arey Bajrang Dal ko kaise ban kar denge ye log? How can they ban Bajrang Dal? Bajrang Dal activists do very good work." Fact of the matter is, these are goons. These are not activists. They are people who are, promoting religious intolerance in the country. They are sending the rule of law in the country to the dustbin, while the BJP ruled governments in different states across the country are sitting silent with a finger on their lips, and that is enough patronage.
All
The
right.
Prime Minister going to a cathedral once a year does not change anything.
As I have barely 30 seconds, Rennie Abraham.
Yeah, Mr. Jain, I just wanted to cite that you pointed out Sadhvi Pragya Thakur, who has just been acquitted of the Malegaon bomb blast case. To still cite her as a criminal, I
So,
think is
no,
illegal,
I never
and
called her a criminal.
libelous. May I, you
So,
please go back to
sorry,
the
sorry.
whatever? My 30 seconds allow me to just make a couple of points. I agree with you. There are fringe elements in every segment. There are hardcore Christian militants elements. And to Father Paul, I'd only like to say one thing. Have we forgotten the Malabar mutiny when there were over 300 Hindu and 200 Christian families who were massacred in Kerala? I mean, then state of Travancore. So these are all historical facts. If we don't want to look at history in an objective fashion, we're going to do this whataboutery about this happened
We can't
and
be
that
looking at
happened.
history when your current day is marred with violence, right?
God.
We got to look at
Correct.
your
So
current
therefore,
situation at
therefore,
hand. You can't keep going back into history and this happened then, so we'll take revenge today. That
right.
can't
But
be the
but Nabila,
approach.
what is happening today? Wait a minute, Nabila. What
Yeah.
happens today is you've seen in Maharashtra and in Mumbai how the hardcore MNS activists, for example, went out their frustration on
No, I understand, but yeah, sir,
non-Mumbaikars. So these are
Rene,
all law
as
and order
per what
problems.
you're
These are
saying,
law and order problems.
yeah, as per
Yeah.
what you're saying, I feel like Muslims of India today are paying the price for what the Mughals did. You know,
I don't
what
think
fault
anybody is
of
saying
the
that.
Muslim
I
of
don't think.
today in India? What is their fault? But they get targeted and they get vilified and cornered because of what the Mughals did. So it's
You're
just
right. See,
basically
you're
that
right. You're right.
you go back
You're
to
right in
history, then
stating that to
there's
an extent
lots
of
of
what is
dark chapters in
the
history, but
narrative.
you can't blame you can't blame the generation of today, right? But
Nabila,
that's all I
give me a
have time
moment,
for.
please.
That's all I have
Okay.
time for. Father Paul, a quick final word.
Can I get
What
10
would be
seconds
your
on
message
Pragya
to
Thakur?
the government? What would be your message to the government, Father Paul?
Very simple, madam, that there is violent fringe elements there. Their violence is not properly met with the law and order situation. The government is indirectly seen to be supporting these violent groups, and that is extremely fearsome. They are creating fear in the community. They are creating also violent ways of doing things, and that must be stopped. The government is not doing anything. They are simply tolerating. They are only implicitly allowing them to do their business. This is very agonizing. This is threatening the democracy of India. This is highly vulnerable people, and this is not. We speak of Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam, but everybody in India must be considered as citizens within the country and respected and venerated and accepted as such. And that is the question we are facing. Democracy is under attack, and democracy has no future if these violent communities, violent fringes are taking law and order situation in
Absolutely.
India.
We completely agree with you, and we completely strongly condemn what has happened with the Christian community on Christmas Day. And this should not be tolerated, and we are here to ensure we give you a platform and a voice so the government can hear you, and I'm sure they have. They've watched this,
Thank you,
they
madam.
know
Thank
what's
you, madam.
happening.
Thank you.
We're hoping that a strong stand is taken against it. That's all I have time for, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.